The Western Area Water Supply is making a huge difference in northwest North Dakota and making sure that we have the infrastructure in place, that we have the resources that the people need who are coming here to work.
We had some poor quality water.
This project was a must-have project. The amount of infrastructure going up, everybody needs water in this region.
With a steady supply of quality water at their doorstep, it's just going to be a great project.
If you've come out here before or seen the area, you can tell how important this project is, not only to Williston area, but to all the surrounding counties and this whole region. McKenzie County is a very arid county, very bad water quality, poor water quantity. Groundwater is very scarce. As we look around, the communities were running out of water. Watford City, Williston, Stanley, Tioga, Ray, all these communities were having unprecedented growth. And also we had rural water growth needs as well. And we found that this project was something that couldn't wait 20 years.
Well, water has always been a necessary commodity for the region, and it's also held back a lot of growth. We haven't had adequate supplies of adequate quality of water, and we haven't been able to entice industry into our region.
In addition to that, you know, in the last 2 or 3 years, as this oil industry has moved so fast, we've had to haul this water by trucks. And getting it into central areas where we can effectively use the type of roads that can handle those trucks and take some of the trucks off the road is real important to the county specifically, where we're trying to play catch up with road maintenance.
The WAWSP project probably would not have become a reality without the oil industry impacting the region at the same time. It's kind of a win-win situation economically, and now with a greater supply of quality water coming to us. It is a public resource, but it's also a very valuable commodity, which everybody needs. There's 2 purposes for water, and only 2: hydration and hygiene. The main intent of the Western Area Water Supply is to supply people with a source of water to sustain their lives.
We just have an influx of people, plus we have the program with the Western Area Water Supply to build out a large rural water system from our water treatment plant, which is a great program. It's a great story for being able to sell water to the industry and let the industry help support building out a rural water system in northwest North Dakota. It's a good thing. We've had already experience this year with the hot temperatures, drier conditions, close to our maximum day usage off of that plant. So we need to expand that, and as well as to be able to provide water to the oil industry for the fracking.
Well, McKenzie County is bordered by basically the Yellowstone River and the Missouri River, and that was dammed up over 50 years ago. We've been waiting to have good quality water supplies in our community since that time.
There are several miles of shoreline that borders McKenzie County, and we weren't taking access to that. We finally found a way to do that through the Williston Water Treatment Plant, utilizing that and bringing the line down through McKenzie County all the way to Watford City.
Just amazed at how fast this is proceeding. Since its conception a couple years ago to actually seeing pipe go in the ground north of Williston, which for me is a great thing. I see it actually coming in my community's direction, which I never thought would happen for another 3 or 4 years.
Basically, it's something like we've never seen in this part of the country. So the ability to actually finance and fast track a system to get water to this growth area and to get water to the citizens who have been here for a long period of time and to serve the oil industry, the timing is perfect.
You know, as we annex new areas to the community and we have new developments, we need to supply them with water for one thing. And by having the Western Area Water Supply in place, we have now the infrastructure to get water to those developments, as well as taking it to the outlying communities. They support us, and we try to support them. So we're delighted that, you know, we're going to have Crosby and Ray and Tioga and Stanley and Watford City and Alexander and all these other communities get our water as well to help them grow.
This rollout's exciting to us, primarily that our citizens are going to be getting good quality water drinking water in an area where traditionally we haven't had good quality drinking water. It just happens that this is also coming about at a time when we're just having massive industrialization of this part of the country in a very concentrated area.
The WAWSP project has impacted a lot of people I know in a very positive way. They've had to haul water for their home cistern on their rural farmsteads, which is terribly inconvenient when it's 30 below. They're trying to thaw their tanks, thaw their pipes. With a steady supply of quality water at their doorstep, it's going to make their life much simpler, their quality of life much better, and it's just going to be a great project.
Personally, I started in the rural water area in about 1996 in McKenzie County, and so we developed projects around Watford City and on the eastern part of McKenzie County. We stood in line at the state government, we stood in line at the federal government for funding, and we still had areas of McKenzie County that were not being served, and we actually had funding lined up that was cut from the federal government in 2008 when we had such a calamity in this country with the housing bubble busting. And so all of a sudden all of these unfunded projects are sitting on the shelf, and with the development of the Western Area Water Supply Project and the concept of going to the state government and actually having them back the loans and being able to repay those loans through industrial water sales, it provided us an avenue where we actually could complete some of those projects that we had worked on trying to develop over the past 6, 7, 8 years. We sell industrial water sales to the oil field, and that is how we anticipate paying for 80% of this project. Without those industrial water sales, there actually would not be a Western Area Water Supply Authority project. So personally, this is a very positive experience for myself and for all the people that are involved with these projects out here.
Well, I think the public really needs to understand that that we're doing this in a way that's not taxpayer supported. It won't have to be supported by taxpayers. It'll pay for itself. That's a real innovative system of funding, yet it's kind of hard for people to get their arms around because it's a different way of doing things. But in order to do it at the speed we need to do it, we have to be creative and innovative. So projects like this that would generally take 15 or 20 years, we're probably doing 20 years of water projects in 2.5 years here. So we've been really appreciative of the legislative support and them understanding what we're trying to do. It's not without controversy, and it's not without some real challenges.
The group that calls themselves the independent water providers is a very small percentage of the population in the region. Right now, we're seeing towns having to go on water restrictions because they can't get a good quality and a sufficient supply. If this is held up by either legislation or litigation, the people in the region are going to suffer for several more months or even years. And it'd be much better if we could come to some terms with the people that are at odds with the Western Area Water Supply Authority than to have to go into litigation and slow the project down.
As we move forward working with oil companies, we're trying to develop that relationship with them to not only get industrial water from the project, but also see the benefit they're receiving from getting water out into the country to the rural areas, to even their workers that are in the crew camps or the developments that they're putting in. We want to get that connection with them, not only to get this project paid off, but they can see it as a benefit that they're giving this region, not only for today, but for years to come as we continue to use the WAWSP project.
We sometimes forget is this system that we're building, you know, it's not temporary. This system will be here for the next 100 years.
You know, at some point, the oil industry is going to slow down, you know, and it's going to be just in the production of the oil wells, and we won't need as much water. But with WAWSP in place, we will have water to be able to have manufacturing, just to do a number of different things. So it's a great investment for the future that we're making today because of the oil industry.
As the oil industry starts to, you know, get into the production phases, it won't be quite as busy. We're excited about the opportunity for long-range industrial use of that water, for agricultural value-added processing plants. All those things are long-term economic development infrastructure that we really need.
In relation to the oil industry is a huge, huge benefit. The WAWSP project is going to supply a known product. It doesn't change consistency. It has sufficient quality, quantity, and a reasonable price factor that they can work with day after day, year after year.
It's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us to take advantage of. We're primarily interested in getting water to the citizens as soon as we possibly can. So it's a pretty exciting project for those of us that live and work here.